Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West. That's just what we do. And leading off the news today is that we are a handful of hours, I guess probably like 12 hours away from the release of the Nick Cannon Kanye West interview. And this is the second preview that we got for it. You can see Cannon talking to Kanye. The first preview was just Nick Cannon talking with no Kanye interaction whatsoever. So it's good to see a preview that has Kanye. And really, it's just Kanye talking about, like, Cannon brings up the political aspects and, you know, Kanye being an operative of the Republicans and that they're paying him to run. And Kanye makes a point like, you can't pay me to do anything. Like, he makes so much money at this point that he doesn't need anybody to pay him for something. And then Cannon asks him about the viability of winning in 2020. And Kanye responds with his typical, I'm not running, I'm walking, which he plays for laughs and is a funny statement. I think it plays more to the idea of just Kanye really is using 2020 as a information gathering process for 2024, and he's going to be able to use that info for 4 years, right, to figure out what strategy he's going to employ. Otherwise, if he really is a spoiler candidate, it's just a nice way of dodging the question. But that interview, I think, is going to be interesting just for the sheer fact that a lot of the interviews that we've had with Kanye recently were either him in that I'm on the political campaign trail that we got around the South Carolina events, which he was doing a couple radio interviews before that, and then the actual South Carolina campaign rally, which he had just was very amped up for whatever reason during that time, whether it was a mental health thing or just like his energy at the time. And then the Forbes interviews that we got were also very different in just the fact that Kanye was having these conversations with Forbes and we were getting little snippets. We're not even sure if like the major Forbes interview was in like order of what the topics were talked about, what the context was, how the questions were being framed to Kanye. We're just getting these chunks of text with little framing points ahead of them, which is not a good way to do an article or an interview. So we're now getting to hear from Kanye in the wake of all of that, which is why this interview is one of, I think, the most anticipated that Kanye's done in recent years. I think maybe the most anticipated since him sitting down with Letterman to talk in 2018, right? Or some of those interviews after the Ye listening party, or even him going back onto TMZ, or the first time he went to TMZ, right? And the Charlemagne the God interview that dropped that same day. So this is something to definitely look out for. And of course, I'll be doing a video that goes through the whole thing. So you can watch it and then come hear me talk about it, or you can just listen to me talk about it. You know, either one, just for you. I give you options. Aren't I a kind YouTube host? And then here, this was one of the other events from the other day. Kanye visited A Better Way Ministries in Senoia, Georgia. So Kanye is still kind of gallivanting around, but coming back to Georgia. Things are still happening, as you can see from the Angels screen that we saw, like Kanye West, Angels, a Hype Williams film. We talked about that in the previous video. So things aren't done in that studio, even though we have no idea when the album's going to come out. It doesn't feel like the album has been scrapped yet, as long as we're seeing this kind of stuff happening in Georgia. So there's still some hope, even if all of our manufactured dates, right, haven't panned out in terms of like, oh, it's going to come 8/24 because of Kobe. Oh, it's going to come 8/28 because that's like his dad's birthday. It's going to come 8/31 because that's the deadline for the Grammys. None of those things came true. Now the Azareth Yeezys got bumped from August 29th to September 1st, and people are like, that's it. They're bumped to coincide with the Gap show and the dropping of the album. No. At this point, the answer is probably no. Until it's yes, it's no. But you can see Kanye with the pastor there, and then he's with the same guy down here in this Jeep. And this woman taking some photos outside in the street, and that same Jeep and taking some photos with some other guys. So just kind of, you know, gallivanting around, going to a church sermon. And then this was pretty funny. Kanye gifted 2Chainz one of these Sherps, which is crazy. So Kanye has like 10 of these or even more. and he's had them out in Wyoming, but brought all of his or got new ones to have in that Georgia Pinewood studios that he's been at. So there've been photos of just a line of them. And he gifted one to 2Chainz for his birthday. And you can see that there's an inscription for 2Chainz: trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. What's funny about this is that Kanye fans have been referring to these as Jesus tanks just because it's hilarious, right? Kanye's so religious and these are very tank-like, so to call it Jesus tanks is just, it's fun, it's enjoyable. But now that Kanye's actually put a Bible quote, like, attached this, like, this is part of the vehicle now, right? It has a Bible verse emblazoned on it that makes it literally a Jesus tank. Like, the man made our memes reality. That's amazing. So that happened. And then we have this, which I guess is kind of sad news or interesting news. So Wexler has left Adidas. And John Wexler is the longtime Adidas executive and the current general manager for the Yeezy line is leaving the company. So he's not a Yeezy employee, right? He works for Adidas, but is essentially in charge of managing Yeezy and Adidas's partnership. And a lot of people, from what I've seen, have given him credit for bringing Kanye and Pharrell in and kind of being this voice within the company for these partnerships and collaborations. Like, he's been pretty prominent and huge when it comes to that relationship. So the fact that he's leaving the company might not have that much of an impact given where Adidas and Yeezy are at and how much money is being generated, but it could prove volatile. I mean, one relationship can change a lot of things when it's that high of a level and that high of a person. You imagine whoever's stepping into Wexler's position will probably be someone that Kanye has a good relationship with already, but it at least creates opportunities for either a new direction or a bad direction. So we'll see. People were wondering why Wexler left, and CryoSync here, or no, Call Me of Glenn said probably because of this, and linked to this Twitter post from May 20th. Need everybody's help. If anyone in your circle knows anyone who has been diagnosed with glioblastoma, form of brain cancer, is managing through it, please DM. Trying to gather as much info as I can about treatment cocktails that are working for them. And you can see he said, my DMs are open, and was really thanking people for the information that they were providing, setting treatment protocols, intros to family members willing to share their stories. Josh Wex and I will follow up with you after we connect later, which I'm pretty sure is John's brother. And you can see Josh commented here, hearts and thank you. So I guess the basic way of reading this is that either Josh or somebody in the Wexler family is dealing with this brain cancer. And you initially go to that idea of like, oh, maybe, because he's made his money, he's had this 18-year career at Adidas, he can kind of step aside to spend time with family that might be going through something and being a caretaker, something like that. But it's also possible that he's just moving on to the next thing. He says at the bottom here, very excited for what the next chapter will bring, right? So that's another thing. It doesn't sound like somebody that's necessarily retiring from everything. And people have speculated, has he left working with Yeezy? Could he be hired into Yeezy to do something? Is he going to stay in that kind of fashion realm? Like, what direction is he going? Could he be the Christian CFO that Kanye found that's going to run Yeezy? Who knows? But Wexler, like, cracks me up. I love calling him John Flexler because if you look at his posts, it's just like him with the Azareth, him with the, I forget what these ones were called, the slides, like the OG Yeezys, right? And like the OG 350s and 750s. It's just like more Adidas, more Yeezy, more Yeezy, more Yeezy, more Yeezy. This closet, like, I want that closet. Look at that. That's a glorious closet. there's so many shoes in there that you're just like, I would love to have those. I want all of them. And so that's just like John Flexler flexing on all of us. Just like all these posts of his shoes. It's pretty amazing. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to see what Wexler does next. He seems like a very smart and dedicated guy that has a lot of interesting views, especially if Kanye has worked so closely with him. I think anybody that Kanye is working with is a person of interest. But that's kind of it for the Kanye news that we have today. Oh, this is new, isn't it? I didn't see it at least. Kanye visiting bee downtown. Is this just beekeeping? We install and maintain beehives for businesses at corporations while simultaneously providing year-round employee engagement and leader development programming. Yo, bees are a key component to the environment. They actually say that these are one of the crucial species in the spread of positive, like the germination of plants and the pollination of the environment. And then environments where bee populations fall, there's like chaotic or problematic results. So like, good job on Bee Downtown, you know? Doing a responsible thing and helping corporations feel good about themselves and spending money in a positive way. And then I guess that's all that we got. Let me refresh Team Kanye Daily here. Yeah, that's all that we got. Okay. That's all that we got. So yeah, I wish there was more info, but we'll see. I mean, tomorrow we'll definitely be talking about this Nick Cannon interview and go through all of it. And if there's not more content than that for looking for Wednesday, then I might do a ranking of late registration songs, like my personal ranking of late registration. Or if you have any other video requests, go ahead and leave them down in the comments, and I might pick one of those out to do. But now I'll go into the final spiel. Are you ready? Okay, if you're enjoying the channel and you want to help us out, the easiest way is to like, subscribe, or comment, as those things tell YouTube that this is a channel people enjoy, which is helpful to us very much. And then we have a Patreon, where the thing that we're most well known for is our line-by-line song analysis of Kanye's discography. That's kind of our bread and butter, me and Travis. We're narrative experts, and we deconstruct movies and albums, and I write books. It's kind of our focal point. So we've gone through Kanye's entire discography, College Dropout, all the way up to Jesus is King. The Jesus is King episodes are still free on Apple and Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts, but the rest of the albums are only available on Patreon. And we're actually starting next week, or this week, on our late registration season. So this week you can get our overview episode and then our Heard 'Em Say episode. And you will have a newfound appreciation for Kanye's music and songs that you already love or maybe iffy on by listening to this series, because we go like deeper than you'd ever expect anyone to go when it comes to breaking down Kanye's songs and lyrics. So if you want to have this deeper appreciation for music I'm sure you already love, then go to patreon.com/Kanye podcast and have your mind blown. You might not agree with like 100% of everything we say, but there's going to be something in every episode where you go, wow, yeah, that's the Chris guarantee. But I guess that's it. I write books, but nobody buys the books. But my second novel just came out a couple months back. So if you want to read pretentious literary fiction, give Killer Unconquered a shot, or my first book, Killer and Victim. Their links in the description. But that's it for me today. Until the next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.